Aerodrome finance price update. I found something very dangerous in the Aerodrome chart nobody's talking about, and a base microcap I'm loading up massively on right now. My name is Mike Madz. Let's start this video. Before I start the video, please do me a huge favor. Every like matters, every single comment matters. The more people engage, the better for the video, the better for the entire community, and especially the better for our tokens. Appreciate you. Let's start. Alright, let's stop wasting time. Let's jump straight into it. Of course, main topic is going to be Aerodrome today, and one of the most important questions I'm getting right now, Aerodrome, is it actually over? We have some OGs that are calling the top, and I found something in the Aerodrome charts you have to have on your radar. Very, very important. One of the best, hands down, this is not clickbait, one of the best 100x base microcaps I'm loading up heavily right now. Also very important today, Aerodrome price prediction with my absolute worst case scenario. The absolute worst case, which you should have on your radar, of course, especially if you're an Aerodrome investor. And one mistake you have to avoid at all costs, because this mistake here can cost you your entire gains within weeks here. So Aerodrome, the main question today is it actually over? And there's only one answer to that question, guys. And anyone claiming otherwise, do me a favor, unfollow, run away, because unfortunately this person most probably is a beginner or a liar here. So Aerodrome, is it over? The only one question to that, nobody knows, guys. Crypto is dynamic, crypto is risky, markets are dynamic, something can happen at any day, but we know some things here, and knowing those things, we can actually gauge if it's over or not here. Now, first things first that we know is that Aerodrome is growing massively. As you can see here with the 5x growth year over year, Aerodrome just surpassed $150 billion in 2025, locking in a 5x growth here year over year. So first thing we know is Aerodrome is actually growing and dominating the base space. Second thing here is top revenue on base. Usually Aerodrome is the number one here in revenue on base. So second thing we also know here, as you can see here, that Aerodrome with a 30-day revenue metric here is leading the base ecosystem absolutely here with $17.5 million here. So second thing we know here, revenue absolutely healthy with Aerodrome, and also dominating the base place. Okay, now knowing those two, actually something new here that happened here, if there is going to be institutional interest in the base ecosystem, the number one stop is going to be Aerodrome here, full stop here. So institutional interest here, Aerodrome is the number one contender, hands down in here. And as you can see here with this new option here on Coinbase Prime, being able to buy Aerodrome there for institutions, this is going to be also very, very important catalyst here for Aerodrome to reach those new highs. And maybe, as many companies are starting a lot of crypto treasuries, maybe an Aerodrome treasury is not too far-fetched. So knowing those three things here, is it actually over for Aerodrome? The metrics, the facts, see, absolutely not here. Growth is happening, adoption is happening, and this is why I think here upside is likely, very likely, but there's also something in the chart we will cover shortly that is looking very dangerous here. Okay, now, second thing here, one of the best 100x base plays here on microcap on base here, which I'm loading up heavily right now. And I want to add a disclaimer here, because many people don't seem to like that I cover micros, but for those people, I just want to say this thing here. Many people don't even try. They wish for a better life. They wish to be rich. They dream about buying this car. They dream about buying this apartment, but meanwhile, they're not changing any single thing in their life, guys. How do you expect to get rich? Just tell me. How do you expect to get rich? You cannot save money with your salary to get rich. Inflation will not allow that. You cannot just land on a pot full of money. Very, very unlikely. Guys, if you want to change your life, you have to take risks and you have to take opportunities. And especially now in this bull market with microcaps popping off, why shouldn't I cover microcaps, guys? This is certainly a way to accumulate a lot of wealth here, if of course the luck is in the right place, and if you have the right picks here. So why I'm covering microcaps? If you don't even try, you will never get there, guys. You know that, or hopefully you know that. Your life won't change if you don't even try. Okay, this is why I cover microcaps, and of course because I believe in them. So what I'm talking about here is retake here. I covered retake in my last video. It was sitting here around $2.9 million. I told you it's absolutely undervalued here. Streaming is a massive industry. We have Jesse, we have Base pushing the project. We have a working product, streamers already streaming on there. getting income, generating revenue. It is a working product that makes sense, is easy to understand for retail, is sitting at below $3 million market cap. And fast forward here, we actually had a massive pump here, and we're currently sitting at $7.7 million in market cap with the FDV of around 11 million. So guys, still very tiny. Why am I so bullish on it, and why is it such a cozy hold? First of all, Base is pushing it, Jesse is pushing it, the product makes sense, the product is very easy to understand for retail, and the product just makes absolute sense. It's a multi-billion-dollar idea sitting currently at only $11 million in the market cap. So as you can see here, the global video streaming market was valued approximately at over $360 billion in 2024. Streaming is a massive industry, guys. It's not just about a couple guys here with a couple views. Streaming is a massive industry. It's a great way for also institutions and products to advertise, etc. Streaming is a massive, massive industry, and tokenizing this industry, especially here, every streamer being his own token, just makes absolute sense, guys, even for normies to understand here. So retake, in my personal opinion, and no, I'm not sponsored, I've tried, I'm not sponsored, retake is a multi-billion-dollar idea, currently is sitting at only 7.7 approximately million dollars in market cap. In my personal opinion, 50% of Zora, so around 100 million in the short term, should be possible. Why not? And not financial advice. Okay, let's get back to Aerodrome here, and something super, super important. Let's cover the positives first. My base case, guys, my base case is unchanged here. My base case is that we will see all-time highs in Q4. Right now, how things are looking, I think November is very likely. But my base case is still that there is still a chance here that we retest the bull market support band. Again, as I always say, those moving averages are very, very well respected in a bull market. And as you can see here, we usually retest it, come close to it, and move higher. So a retest would mean another 16% to the downside. Does it mean it's 100% guaranteed? No, but this would be my base case right now, especially looking at seasonality here. Now, there's also a case here, guys, because some OGs are starting to call for a top. We are getting close to the top. And guys, if you remember last cycle and the cycles before, nobody nails the top. And usually people expect more, but meanwhile the top is already in. So I want to cover that scenario, and I want to show you how that would look like, because I found something here with another project here with Sushi Swap here. Very, very similar, where most people expected higher. Unfortunately, it was a triple top here. As you can see here, we have 3 peaks here with Aerodrome. Massive run up, repricing, first peak, correction, second peak, and right now we're forming this third peak here, which is a lower high. Now, taking a look at Sushi Swap, this is kind of similar here. Now, of course, not market cap wise, but attention wise and liquidity wise. So Sushi Swap, massive run up, first peak. Many people were expecting higher, didn't happen. Retest of the bull market support band, second peak. Many people were FOMOing in here, I remember. Again, massive correction, another one up. By then, most people were drawing trend lines here and were expecting a massive breakout here as this trend line was about to get breached. As unfortunately, guys, this was the start of the distribution phase, and this was the start of the bear market, with Sushi Swap dropped another over 90% from here. So taking a look at those two charts, I'm not saying this is my base case. Please, guys, I'm not saying this is my base case, and why I'm showing you this I will cover shortly, but this is also a reality. Nobody says it's guaranteed that we're going to have alt season. Nobody says it's guaranteed that Aerodrome is going to go to $3, $4, $5, $10. Is it my base case? Yes, guys, it's my base case. But knowing that, you need to manage your risk. Is all I'm trying to say. Okay, now coming to the end of the video, and this actually connects to these points here. This mistake will cost you all of your gains. What I'm talking about is something very simple, but please pay attention, guys. I know most people quit the video by now, but please listen to what I'm saying here. Now, putting yourself in a position of weakness never works in the crypto space. In stocks, you can risk it a little bit more, but also not usually a wise idea. Usually with everything in life, guys, never put yourself in a position of weakness. What exactly does that mean here? This exactly means this here. Now, first things first, you need to understand how humans are, especially with trading. Now, first things, prospect theory. What is actually prospect theory? This is the idea that investors place more weight on perceived gains than perceived losses here. And knowing that loss aversion is a thing here, Loss aversion is the following. We feel losses much more keenly than wins here. A $100 loss hurts much more than the pleasure of receiving $100. Knowing those two things here, knowing that losses are actually much harder to navigate, you should never put yourself in a position of weakness with any position in your crypto portfolio. Full stop here. So very important. Knowing all that, you have to force yourself always to navigate from a position of power. And what does this exactly mean here? Let's take Aerodrome for example, okay? If you're bullish on Aerodrome, like most people on this channel, it makes sense to be bullish. Metrics are going higher, great product, the representation of the base ecosystem, but you have to play it right, guys, because this is very important. Now, the number one thing here, very important, sizing is everything with crypto. Why is that? Because you need to be, your position size needs to be enough to be satisfied if your thesis is right. If you go higher, it actually makes a difference in your life, but it also needs to be small enough that a complete loss won't ruin you. Once one of those three points here gets breached, you are playing for a position of weakness, and the likelihood of you getting wrecked is very high. Why? Because we know how the human psychology works here in investing here. Now, second thing is conviction matters, guys. If it's not a F yes, it's a no. If you don't have full conviction, don't borrow your conviction. Borrow conviction, in the next dip, you will panic sell. Third thing here, education and knowledge on what you're actually buying is super important. Why? Because even if we dip, even if we have a massive crash, you're content with your position. You're happy with the dip because you can DCA more. Why? Because you actually know what you're buying, guys. You know what value you're holding, and the price is only a short-term representation here of what? Of human psychology and the market and market makers and liquidity hunts. So super important, guys. Again, always play from a position of strength. Always think about the downside potential, not just the upside potential. And I promise you, you will become a great trader. Okay? At the end of the day, guys, be bullish on yourself here. That yields the most returns. Do your own research. Super important. Most important thing is, don't get wrecked.
Giving up from blue tops like Mars Simpson, just hard discipline, pot simmering, cooking up, no rocks in the pan, watching the plan form in the sand, bidding cap.